Hey there, my name is One Take back on another video. So today I'm going to talk about yesterday's event. So today is Thursday. The event was yesterday, which was Wednesday. I think we're gonna see this video on Friday. The event I'm talking about is the Samsung event, the one where they introduced their phones, right? So I love the event, not the event, but I loved what Samsung is doing, the introduction of this new device and the 3 other devices they introduced yesterday. But before I get to the things I like the most about the devices that were introduced yesterday, let's just talk about the things that they say in those events that really don't go well with me, right? The things that they do always when they talking about phones and those phone events. If you watch many of them, you will see, let me pull out the notes. So taking down notes when they're saying these things, AI all the damn time. I think the word or artificial intelligence has lost like meaning at this stage, because everyone, their phones, AI camera, AI whatever. And that's one thing that I didn't like. Oh, AI, and then there's innovation, then there's intelligence. They don't leave out those words, and I don't like them always having to use those words to tell you that a camera is good, because now they just don't have anything to say. They say better recognize the scenes, AI, like, yeah, I don't like that. Then ecosystem, right? Samsung has fridges, I think they make almost all appliances, home appliances and all the stuff, but I don't think it's a good idea to actually call it ecosystem now, because when you ask someone who's been using an iPhone for years, why aren't they switching from an iPhone to an Android, they'll tell you because it's, they'll say it's because of the ecosystem. Like, the ecosystem weight has been used too much in tech when addressing the reason people stay with Apple, right? So you don't come out and say ecosystem relating to your devices if you a smart person, like marketing wise. Not sure if that was a good strategy to use the ecosystem. They could have used another weight. Samsung, I think, has a better ecosystem compared to Apple. They have a lot of devices. I think they make almost everything. They have obviously a better ecosystem, but they shouldn't use ecosystem. That's just my thoughts. Then, oh, the 10 years ago, damn, they've been bragging about that for some time now. That the Galaxy, yes, they started making a Galaxy. It's been 10 years making the Galaxy phone now. I think that has to do with the emphasis that, or with them seeing that the smartphone industry is actually getting crowded, and I think maybe they sort of was this reminding people that, oh, we've been here from the start. Remember this phone? Yes, the one we're excited about 10 years ago, we made it. So please don't forget about us. And then after all those, oh, they haven't killed Bixby as well, it's still there. Okay, after all those and things are out of the way, let me go to the stuff that I really liked. I think Samsung is onto something very good. Okay, so the first thing is gonna be their phone, like sorry, the Galaxy Fold, right? So that's their new foldable phone. It's pretty weird looking at it. I think one will have to like experience the phone before giving a review, or was this like having a comment that is sort of deserved with that phone, right? I think you'll have to actually use it because it's something new, and that's what's exciting, because now phones have been practically the same for years now. They've just been like slowly, no, small increments, like things that have been added to the phone, that it's not been exciting watching these events every year, because we always know what's coming. Excuse. But this year they gave us a new phone. I don't see it being like a top selling phone, because it's $1,980. That's like 20,000, I think 27,000 rands in South Africa. That's how much money people pay to buy cars in this country. So I don't see it like being a successful product, not successful product, but a best selling products that they make. But it's a very good thing they did. I appreciate them having to be like at the edge of this innovation. I think another company tried, those Chinese companies, they always try to be first at something, not being the best, but being first to them matters the most. I think Samsung did a good job with making that foldable phone. The screen doesn't see, you see, all the things with that device, I think they could be better explained by a person who's actually used the thing. But I'm very excited about that device. So I think it turns to a tablet. I think basically it's an iPad Pro of some sort, cheaper or expensive, more expensive, not cheaper, damn, more expensive. So there is app continuity and all the stuff. That phone is very good, I think. I think maybe Gen 2, if they continue to make it, which they should of course continue make those phones, I think Gen 2 will be even better. I think the size can be reduced and all that, so we'll see the improvements on the second generation. Then what's else? Oh, that phone is 6 cameras, 12 gigs of RAM and all that. I think that's an exciting device. That's the one thing that I was sort of excited about watching this event. I'm saying, okay, these guys have made something new in the year. So it's sort of the innovation that has been lacking in the smartphone industry. I think they should be appreciated for that one. And then with their Galaxy devices, so they introduced 3 devices, S10 and the S10 Plus. Those ones we pretty much knew they were coming. And then the S10, is it the S10e? I think the cheaper one. Yeah, S10e, that's the cheaper one. I think it's $750. I think with that one they're doing pretty much what Apple did with the XR thing, that the cheapest phone that they made. Size wise, I think the placement of the camera, they took care of this notch problem, and so there is no longer the notch city there. It's very much good design. I think the phones look good. And also one thing that they didn't mention or explain well, so they said that you could get up to 12 gigs of RAM with that phone. So mostly it's 8 gigs. The 12 gig like version costs 1.5 1.6 somewhere there, with 1 terabyte of RAM. That's a bit high for a phone. I think that's where we're going though, but that's a bit high for a phone, right? Then one also other thing with the cameras, right? So I'm a photographer. These things sort of excite me in some way. I think they're trying to teach people how to take better pictures. I think they said they fed the phone or the software hundreds of millions of images to be good at composition, right? So maybe you've seen, and this thing annoys me with people most of the time. I think it's also happened with me here with this wall. I think it's not straight. So whenever a person takes a picture and the wall is not straight, or whatever that they're standing next to, things are just not straight, that's annoying to look at as a photographer. So seeing Samsung doing something to teach people how to take better pictures is something very good. It's also making videos on those phones. I think they spoke about something called HDR10 Plus. I think it's Samsung's Samsung's version of Dolby Vision, something like that. That means was this better colors and all that stuff that you've seen with those big TVs, right? And also when shooting videos, so when making videos, that was the cool part. When making videos, sort of edits frame by frame. I think that's the way I thought about it, like color grading frame by frame, right? Making adjustment for frame by frame, so videos should come out pretty good. I think they didn't talk about the screen resolution and whatever. No, they didn't mention that. Then what else was exciting there? Their cameras, ultra wide, 120 degrees, not bad. There's ultra wide. I've not been able to say this word, Panamora. Is it Panamora or panorama? It's an ultra wide panorama. Damn, that's actually something also to look for with those cameras. I think there are 4 cameras, 2 12 megapixels telephoto, then 1 ultra wide 120 megapixel, no, 120 degree ultra wide 16 megapixel. Damn, yeah, triple camera system. Then what else was exciting there? When also they talked about Wi-Fi 6, so that's the new standard for Wi-Fi. I think it hasn't been that much talked about and hasn't that much been implemented. I think it's something that we'll see towards the end of the year, although companies like your Intel, Asus and whatever, I think they already made or making Wi-Fi routers and Wi-Fi router components for that stuff. Exciting things. What else? Yeah, I think that's it for the things that I thought. Oh damn, almost forgot the ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, right? It's on the, like the one, I think it's OnePlus, the one that takes an image or something like that. This one, I think I said this, I'm not sure if I did it, I said it in a video or something. You see, those companies, oh, I said it in a tweet, those companies, like the Chinese companies, it's Chinese companies most of the time, they rush into being first at doing something. They don't actually care about perfecting the technology, right? That's what I said seeing them first, like introducing the fingerprint scanners. I said Samsung has the capacity to do this, and I think when they do it, it will actually be good, right? And then they went on and did it with this phone. They embedded the fingerprint sensor underneath the thing, and it's not actually a camera, it is an ultrasonic sensor, right? So it's actually much more bionic sort of, and it can't be fooled. I think can't be fooled. No, I'm a computer programmer now, so I can't say that. It's not easily, it cannot be easily fooled, that one. So Samsung made an in screen, underneath the screen fingerprint sensor, and it's very much exciting, and it's to the level that you would expect from a company like Samsung. I think this thing of usually it's your journalists on the Verge and all those like tech blogs, they always like to talk about Samsung. No companies bearing Samsung to everything, and they don't actually talk about the quality of the stuff. I think also it happened with the folding phone. I think it was Royal or something like that, a company that made the folding phone. Wasn't that good? You saw from the images that that's horrible, and then Samsung came out, made a phone, and it's very much a good thing from the not having used the phone in the first place. So those are the things that I was excited about, and I hope someday I get to use. I think I wouldn't buy with my money the phone, the Galaxy Fold, this first generation. it's not actually for the end consumer. You will buy maybe from a point of wanting to experience something new, and you're a tech geek and you want to make a review or something like that, but to use, it's not something that will buy at this stage. I think that's it. So I'll see you in the next one. Also, I now make podcasts. I'll link the channel somewhere here, and also in the description. Okay, that's been it. Peace.